In a quiet village surrounded by a dark, dense forest, two children named Hansel and Gretel lived with their father and cruel stepmother. The family struggled to find enough food, as times were hard, and resources were scarce. One day, the stepmother hatched a cruel plan to abandon Hansel and Gretel in the forest. Hansel and Gretel overheard their stepmother's plan and felt frightened and alone. That night, Hansel collected small pebbles to leave a trail for their return. The next morning, the stepmother led them deep into the forest. After a long walk, she told them to wait while she gathered firewood and left them behind. When night fell, Hansel and Gretel followed the trail of pebbles back home. The children returned home, and their father was overjoyed to see them. Furious, the stepmother devised an even crueler plan to get rid of the children once and for all. The following day, the stepmother led them even deeper into the forest, this time without leaving a trail. Hansel, clever as ever, scattered breadcrumbs along the way to mark their path back. After a long walk, the stepmother left them once again, claiming to gather food. As night fell, the children realized they were lost, and the breadcrumbs had been eaten by birds. Determined to find their way back, they wandered through the dark woods, calling for their father. Suddenly, they spotted a warm light flickering in the distance. As they approached, they realized it was a house made of gingerbread and candy. Hungry and tired, they couldn't resist and began to nibble on the walls of the house. Suddenly, a wicked old witch appeared, her eyes gleaming with delight. "Come inside, my dears. I'll take care of you," she said, beckoning them in. Once inside, the children were amazed by the sweet decorations but felt a chill of fear. The witch quickly locked Hansel in a cage, planning to fatten him up for dinner. Poor Gretel was forced to do the witch's bidding, cooking and cleaning while plotting their escape. The witch would often taunt Hansel, saying, "Soon you will be my delicious dinner." Every day, Hansel would trick the witch by holding out a thin bone instead of his finger. Days passed, and the witch grew impatient, wanting to eat Hansel soon. One night, Gretel whispered to Hansel, "We need to escape tonight." They devised a plan to trick the witch and make their escape. The witch announced she would prepare a grand feast to celebrate Hansel's impending dinner. That night, while the witch was busy, Hansel and Gretel made their move. They tiptoed through the house, careful not to make a sound. They reached the door and pushed it open slowly, their hearts racing with hope. Once outside, they ran as fast as they could into the dark forest, not looking back. The witch realized they were gone and let out a furious scream. Hansel and Gretel ran deeper into the forest, fearing the witch would come after them. After a long while, they found a small clearing and decided to rest. "We did it, Gretel! We escaped!" Hansel exclaimed, hugging his sister tightly. They knew they needed to find their way back home, so they set off in the direction they thought was correct. As they walked, they began to recognize their surroundings, feeling hopeful. At last, they saw the outline of their village in the distance and rushed toward it. Their father spotted them running and rushed out, tears of joy streaming down his face. The children shared their harrowing tale with their father, who listened in disbelief. The father, realizing the stepmother's role in their abandonment, confronted her. The wicked stepmother was banished from their home, never to return. With their stepmother gone, the family began to heal and find joy once more. They planted a garden and worked together to ensure they would never go hungry again. Hansel and Gretel played in the meadow, their laughter echoing through the air. They often visited the pond, where they would chase frogs and pick wildflowers. The dark forest no longer felt scary. Instead, it was a place of adventure and beauty. One day, they decided to celebrate their freedom with a picnic in the meadow. They invited their friends from the village to join in the festivities. The meadow filled with laughter as they played games and shared delicious food. Hansel and Gretel shared their story of courage, inspiring their friends. They explained the importance of bravery and looking out for one another. With their family united and their spirits high, Hansel and Gretel looked forward to a bright future. Their garden flourished, providing them with plenty of food and joy. They began to share their harvest with neighbors, helping those in need. The village grew stronger as the community came together to support one another. Hansel and Gretel remained inseparable, their bond stronger than ever. They continued to explore the forest, discovering its beauty and secrets. With each adventure, they learned more about nature and its wonders. They made new friends in the woods, from playful squirrels to wise old owls. Though they remembered the witch and her wickedness, they no longer felt fear. With courage in their hearts, they looked forward to many more adventures ahead. Hansel and Gretel knew that together, they could face anything that came their way. For more amazing stories, make sure to like, share and subscribe. See you next time.